Thrive, don't just survive. The 80-20 rule for busy mompreneurs. Hey, y'all, it's Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist over at Let's Talk Strategies, home of the SaaS Factor. Out here in these social media streets, I am known as the strategy lady. I'm always excited to speak about topics that I really feel are very helpful to those overwhelmed or busy mompreneurs. And this topic, thrive, don't just survive, the 80-20 rule for busy mompreneurs, I believe is really, truly a topic that is going to be extremely helpful along with the others. And as a mompreneur myself, I know how it is. I know that it can be challenging to balance, as some would say. I say blend running a business with the responsibility of being a parent. Whether you have children that are babies, newborns, infants, grown, because I've got them at all walks, mother of five, grandmother of five. There's still different things that you are faced with on a consistent day-to-day base. However, by applying the 80-20 rule, we're going to go a little bit more deeper into it in a minute, you can maximize your time and energy to achieve greater success. And we talked about maximizing our time and energy yesterday. I want to welcome you all to Empowering Women Together. And this topic of discussion that I spoke of, the 80-20 rule, is also known as the Pareto principle. It states that what? 80% of your results come from 20%. Can you believe it? Of your efforts. And I want to go ahead now and kind of break down some of these tips with you to show you the things that you can do to position yourself, one, to save you time, one, to release some of that sense of overwhelm, so you can go ahead and rock and roll in your business by applying these rules to your business. So, tip number one that I truly believe you should really, really get into looking into as it pertains to putting this in position for your business is analyzing your sales. See, you got to kind of think through some things. We come from a space of always telling you got to do this, got to do that, but not giving you that step-by-step approach. So when we think about analyzing, I've always spoken to you guys always all the time about, or you ladies, about identifying things in your business, identifying your income generating things, identifying your target audience, etc. So when you identify as a busy mompreneur, whether it is a product or service, you want to identify your most profitable product or service. And the way that you do it is by analyzing things. So you analyze your sales data. You identify the products or the services that generate the most revenue, for the business. This is a business, business, not a hobby, right? So you've got to identify those things that a lot of us tend to not want to look at. And this is why it comes off as a hobby and not as a business. So when you analyze your sales data, something that you should be looking at, if you don't want to look at it all the time, look at it quarterly. Okay, this way you know what you're really, really doing. And then you can focus on those products and services and allocate more resources to them after you've analyzed and seen how they best suit or best, fit in that thing that you're doing. This will help you to do what? Maximize. Maximize the profit first and foremost, and then streamline the operations. So step one, identify those most profitable products and services using the 80-20 rule. And remember, I mentioned 80% of the results come from 20% of the efforts. Now, step number two, y'all know I'm all about talking about streamlining those processes. Girl, if you don't have those processes streamlined, you just can work yourself into circles and complete frustration. So what do I mean by streamlining your processes? So the easiest way that I can explain it is look for ways that you can automate and delegate certain tasks. Tasks that may be taking you too long to do or too much time for you to do. You may know it, And you may like it, but if it's taking you too much time to do, these are things that you may want to consider streamlining or getting it to someone else that can move a lot more faster. Now, this could involve using software tools like digital CEO systems, hiring a virtual assistant, aka a VA, to handle administrative tasks, or outsourcing those tasks to freelancers or contractors. You will truly, I mean, really, truly find that this is going to free you up in so many ways. Talk about the best way of using that 80-20% rule. Not only will it help you free up your time, you will find that you won't be frustrated in a lot of different areas when you establish that focus of that 80-20% rule, because the efforts that you're going to be putting in, you'll begin to be able to see that you'll be generating a whole lot more. You'll be a lot more productive, and you'll find that money's going to come out of that because your efforts and your focus is going to be laid out a lot more differently. Now, reaching back to yesterday and being able to blend it into today using this 80-20% rule, step 3 is say no to distractions. Come on, y'all. It's time to say no to distractions. It can be very hard, especially when you are trying to be more visible and you're dealing with a lot of other different things, trying to get your mojo on. A lot of us are hanging out on Clubhouse. I know I hang out there, but I have learned how to put a cap on some things because it can be distraction. I mean, yes, it's good information. Yes, it's lead generation. It's all of that good stuff, but it also can be a bottleneck. It also can be a problem if your focus is too much out there and you're running from the other things like sales and getting things set up a certain way so that you can flow, getting those other things set up that are not best kept with you that may need to go to the VA. You have to learn how to say no to distractions. You got to. So be selective about the opportunities that you want to pursue. You may have opportunities to speak and be on stage. Make sure it fits. Because if you're just out there for hours on somebody's stage and it's not profiting you anything, yes, it's visibility, but if it's not turning into anything, it amounts to a waste of time. It amounts to a distraction. So be selective about those opportunities that you want to pursue. Make sure that they align with your goals, not somebody else's goals. Okay. Prioritize your most important projects. Again, your most important projects, not anybody else. And say no to the distractions that are not helping you achieve your objectives. And hopefully you've paid attention to these last videos that I've been given and I spoke about. I touched on objectives. You need to pay attention to those things so that way you can stay on course for your business. Now, this could possibly involve you having to decline requests for meetings, even some collaborations. I've had some collaborations, I've had some meetings, and I've been in some fabulous groups and clubhouse rooms that I kind of missed, but I had to analyze and look at the numbers. None of those rooms, a lot of those rooms, not none of them, a lot of the rooms was not turning into profit for me. I'm getting up on stage, I'm introducing myself. I started seeing, well, I think some of my target audience is in here, but they weren't budging. They weren't my people. And I was wasting a lot of valuable time over there. So that's where looking at my data, evaluating and analyzing really, really came into play. I was also able to see that they didn't align with my business strategy. So that goes without saying, you do need a business strategy and you need to be able to intermix it with this 80-20% rule, right? What is your strategy? How are you going about doing the things you're doing? Strategy is different from tactics. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that one day soon as well. And then limiting your time or the time that you spend on other social media. So not just Clubhouse, right? It could be Instagram, it could be Twitter, it can be LinkedIn. You gotta stick a fork in it to a certain degree. Anything that's a non-essential type of activity, not that you be invisible is not non-essential, it is essential. But there's sometimes a lot of time wasters that I find that we're spending out there that have nothing to do with the growth of your business. These things are truly essential, and it's important that you pay attention to those. Now, another thing when it comes to the 80-20% rule, you need to continuously review and refine your business processes. Okay. You need to look and optimize the efficiency piece of it. Are these processes making sense? Is it taking you too long? Is it taking your team members too long? Look for opportunities to eliminate those unnecessary steps and streamline the workflows. But see, you can't streamline anything, or if you don't know what it is. So we get back to this one thing: get what's in your head out of your head, down on paper. I keep saying it over and over again. I've been around people that have been in business for years and newbies that have been in business, and the one common denominator between both is when I ask you, do you know certain things, and where is it at? Oh, it's in my head. Well, no wonder you can't implement. No wonder you're not taking action. No wonder you can't put the 80 and 20% rule to it. When you do these things, it will allow you to do the next step, is stay focused on your goals. And don't get distracted by what, y'all? The shiny syndrome, those shiny objects, or the shiny object syndrome type method. I call it squirrel. Just because somebody else is doing something and I've been working on something for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week, and it's just not manifesting anything yet, you get easily distracted and you jumped over there in that squirrel mentality or this shiny object syndrome mentality. Avoid chasing every new trend. That's why you don't see me up there dancing all on Instagram. Not to say that it's bad. I mean, if I find one that I feel like it really fits me, then I'll do it. But you don't have to be involved in all the new trends. What you do need to do is make sure you're giving something that's valuable, that will help whomever that person is via service or product, that can help them take their life and their business to the next level. There's going to be opportunities that will come your way. And you need to understand that if you stay true to your vision and the values, things will work out better for you than you showing up like what everybody else is doing, and it doesn't even match what you're doing as a business owner. It's like you saying that you sell tires and you sell cupcakes. They just don't mesh together. So you got to pay attention to those things. Remember that applying the 80-20 rule can help you maximize your productivity, giving you the best results, and achieve greater success as a mompreneur. Now, I got to go ahead and tell you and intermix some things for this awesome month. We are on day 22 of the awesome Women's History Month. And in honor of it, during this Empowering Women Together segment, I thought I would share with you all some women of history and how they use the 80-20 rule in their business. I'm not sure if you all know about Arianna Huffington, the founder of Huffington Post. She applied the 80-20 rule to her content strategy. And by focusing on publishing high quality, shareable content that she did that would truly resonate with her audience, she was able to really maximize things and really able to leverage. This strategy actually helped her build a successful media empire, and she became one of the most influential women in the world of media. Talk about a big accomplishment. And then the next woman that I want to talk to you all about is Esther Lauder. Well, Esty. I said Esther. Lord. Estee Lauder. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Perfume, makeup, skincare. The founder of Estee Lauder Company. She applied the 80-20 rule to her marketing strategy. She focused on promoting her products to her top 20% of customers who were responsible for 80% of her sales. Look at that, the 80-20% rule. This strategy actually helped her build a loyal customer base, and it expanded her business to become a global beauty empire. These are two awesome women that I'm sure most of us are aware of, whether we're young, whether we're old. We can walk into the store right now and still see Estee Lauder. Okay. We can even still go, if you're out here blogging and posting and looking at information and learning and building your your business knowledge up, you're going to know about Ariana Huffington of Huffington Post. These two women truly show us as women in history how using the 80 and 20% rule really helped them to succeed in business and to leverage in so many different ways that help them to put their business on rinse and repeat instead of stop and start. So I hope that this was extremely helpful to you all. If you have any additional questions or comments, feel free. Leave a comment in the comment section, whether you're joining me over on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of the above, and Instagram. It gives me so many issues sometimes. I'm going to start pinning things one day. Hopefully, it'll stay there. Leave a comment there. I'm here to assist you. I get all excited about everything that deals with processes, systems, workflows, all of that good old stuff. That's why they call me the strategy lady. It's just my judge. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I want to thank you once again for joining me here on another segment of Empowering Women Together. I'm Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist, aka the strategy lady. And I hang out over at one of my favorite places. Is actually two of them, but let's talk strategies, where I generally work with those overwhelmed, aka busy mom and wifepreneurs. And no, I didn't forget about you single women in business. I do work with you as well. But I work with you to go from overwhelmed to simplifying, automating, systematizing, and streamlining your business. I help you get your SaaS on in your business. It's all about putting that business on rinse and repeat instead of stop and start. I hope that you will join me on tomorrow for day 23 as we begin to wrap things up and end this awesome month of women's history, and that you too will continue to be a woman in history. All right, take care, and thanks so much for joining me, y'all.